How do you prepare for a marketing interview? Do some people have a special magic that they do well at interviews? Is it a fluke? No, not really. In this video, we'll discuss a 7-step process जो अगर आप और मैं अच्छे से practice करें, apply करें, all of us can be well prepared for not just a marketing interview, but any interview. The very first step, match your CV to the job that you're applying for. See, every job, friends, will have a few qualities or a few attributes that they are looking for in their ideal candidate. हमें वो समझना है. Now let us say, for simplicity, let us take 10 attributes हैं जो एक job मांग रहा है from an applicant. So look at your CV, look at the JD and see, compare what are your skills which are directly matching or what are the skills that you may not have. So let's see if there are about 10 attributes required. For sure, 3 or 4 of your skills or experiences will totally match these attributes. There are 2 or 3 skills which are somewhat similar to what is required in the job description. और एक दो skills ऐसे होंगे या एक दो experiences that they want will be such जो हमारे पास हैं ही नहीं. So broadly keep it in these 3 buckets. The first bucket where 3 or 4 of our skills and experiences are matching what the JD wants. Be very clear about this and use it, highlight it not just in your CV but also in the communication ahead, and we'll talk about this in the subsequent steps. Second, 2 or 3 skills that you kind of have but they are not exactly what the job requires. For example, supposing the job requires you to have commissioned large-scale market researches and use those findings to create marketing strategy. Now, at your end, you may not have commissioned the research, but you might have used various type of market researches, right? So there is a little bit of a difference. So in your communication, both in your CV and the steps ahead, try to show that you have a good understanding of market research. You've used it yourself. You may or may not have commissioned a very big research, but you have the broad idea and you can easily learn and step up. The third bucket is 2 or 3 skills which you just don't have. Now, friends, don't try to lie about this or show things that you don't have. There will always be some aspects that you don't have. I would be very direct about this. जो नई एक दो चीजें नहीं की हैं या नहीं आता आपको areas, say that, be very clear that you don't have that. If it comes up, I mean, don't put it right up there, but if it comes up in discussion, be very honest and frank that you may not have these skills, but you're a quick learner and you can quickly learn and assimilate or absorb what is required to acquire these skills. Most important in this first step, be very clear about what the job demands and what you clearly have within your skill set, and then focus on this. Now, before we move to the next step, हम दो profiles अभी बना लेंगे, kind of persona who are going for a marketing interview, and we'll use these 2 profiles when we are discussing the next steps. The first profile is one of a marketing person who has about 7 years experience. He is applying for a new brand launch position in a multinational company. This person has been picked as a management trainee and has spent 7 years in an Indian company, fantastic organization, has had various types of marketing experience as a brand manager, international marketing strategy. In this company has done well, but now is applying to a multinational company. The second profile is of a person who's in the second year of MBA or PGDM B school. This person is now applying for a brand manager position. He or she is a fresher and doesn't have work ex, but it has a good balance of academics and extracurriculars, has done 2 very good summer training projects, and we'll talk more about this. Friends, what is important is step number 2, where you do some self-reflection. हम ये सोचेंगे कि what is special about us. I like to use the marketing positioning statement format. Okay, positioning statement में क्या होता है? We look at who is the product for, what is the overall value proposition, benefits क्या हैं इस product के, how is it different from competition, and what are the reasons to believe, right? So You don't need to go in that much depth, but at least for reflecting upon our own profile, first of all, what is this job and this company all about, right? Who is likely to be in the interview panel? So we know who is our entire this communication meant for, right from CV to the various interview parts that we'll talk about. We need to have an idea about that. Second, overall हम अपना value proposition देखें. What do we really offer? What is our key strengths? What is special in us that can help benefit the company in some way? And company means this particular job profile that you're going for. So this is more about you. And third is why should that person believe you when you say that this is what I'm good at or this is what I've done. So have examples, genuine stories, awards that you won. Keep this as that reason to believe that the person would have. So how do you use this positioning format to know more about yourself? One, look at the company or the people that you're talking about. What are they looking for? Second, your value proposition, how you fare compared to competition. And thirdly, why should they believe you, right? So now let's look at it in terms of the two profiles that we have talked about. Now let us use this positioning format for the first profile. Now remember, this is a person with 7 years experience in marketing. He is applying for a multinational role where there's a new brand launch or maybe a category of brands ka launch, right? Now this person knows that clearly the company wants someone who can manage the launch, who has good understanding of strategy. MNCs themselves are very good at concept selling and they have very good marketing processes. So the way the person would see is, what are his advantages? One, he's worked in 2 or 3 excellent marketing profiles. First, as a brand manager in the India region. What does that help him or her to show as a skill? Very, very competitive market where you have to compete against Indian and foreign players. His second profile is also important, international marketing, where he helped set up teams. Now that's important to have a little understanding of how across cultures you can work as a professional. Also marketing is a little different. And third is a strategy role. That shows that you know a little bit more than normal operational marketing, right? You can think a little bit big picture. In this, who's applying for this job will think that, I must show all my diverse marketing experiences and skill that is giving me an edge over others in the 2 or 3 areas that I've talked about. और आप इसको prove कैसे करोगे? This person will talk about the promotions that they've got, has grown well, recognized by his company. Secondly, the awards, the individual and team awards that he might have won. So these are the ways to actually then show why what you're saying is actually genuine and it has a lot of strength. Now, if in the first profile that we discussed, the person was showing their breadth of marketing experience. In the second profile, this MBA student who's applying for a brand manager job is a fresher. They don't even have marketing experience. So how do they position themselves for this job? See, everyone has some inherent strengths, friends, and we must look at this. So now this person will look at, he has a BE electronics degree, right? He's done 2 very good summer training projects. No short projects, but summer training he did 2 projects. One, a project of analytics with an investment bank, and second was a market research project with a conglomerate organization on one of their brands. So he will definitely want to showcase this and his learnings from this particular project. Also, this person has a keen interest in extracurriculars and sports. That's another thing they'll want to show as part of their personality. See how this person is now positioning himself. 1, diverse academic experience, BE electronics and an MBA in marketing. Second, lot of learnings from these excellent summer projects that he's done. Third, showing extracurricular and sporting skills where you talk about how well you compete, how well you work as a team player, right? The kind of awards that you have won, or you might have captained some of the cultural teams or one of the sports teams. So that is how they're using it. And of course, as reason to believe, again, awards and achievements and certificates that they might have. The third and possibly the most important part is the introduction. Friends, almost always the introduction will start with a simple question. Tell me about yourself. This is a great opportunity for you. Why? Because first of all, this is the first impression and it's your chance to actually impress the audience. Secondly, the way you handle this introduction is all important, because you can set your entire interview up, the kind of questions that you'll get. You can set it up by, practicing the introduction and doing it in a very simple but very smart manner. For example, in the introduction, I always lay a lot of emphasis on the areas that I think are important for the company, and I also have. Remember, we talked about this? So put that out in your introduction. Second, end on a very strong note, your strong areas, where even if they ask you questions, it is very clear that it will be in your area of strength. Thirdly, during the introduction, try to keep areas where you want questions to come in. So stress a little bit more on that. Now let's see it with an example. So now let's see the first profile that we know, for introduction, the person who's applying after 7 years of marketing for this MNC job. As you know, I'm Abhishek Jhingan and I'm applying for this job for launching your new franchise. I'll tell you about myself in short. Please feel free to dig deeper or stop me at any point that you feel is important, and we can go more in detail. So I've done my electronics and telecom communication at my undergraduate level. I'm an MBA in marketing, and I have been working with company ABC for the last 7.5 years. It's been a great learning experience. I joined as a management trainee. I did various projects for the first 1 year. Then I was a brand manager in their India region, where I was given a brand which had been degrowing by 27%. In the next year or year and a half, I turned around that brand, and it had become on a positive trajectory and had started by the second year giving growth of about 12%. My second profile for about 3 years was handling the international marketing team, where I was responsible for setting up the entire marketing operations based in India for their fast growing markets in Africa. I set up the entire team for my manager who was sitting in Africa. We had great success, and we were also adjudged at the end of the three-year tenure as the best team across the organization. My third stint was with consumer strategy for this conglomerate, where in fact I focused on a group of brands, looked at their P&L, operationally tried to look at areas where we could make their marketing more streamlined and make their P&L, which had been in the red, bring it to a positive at the end of the year and a half. So these were my three stints at this organization. I am also an avid reader, basically fiction, and I've also been very good at sports and extracurricular, having been part of various winning teams, and even at an individual level I've won awards for this. Very keen on this job, and I'd be open to answering more questions. So let us see what have we achieved over here. In this short introduction of about 2.5-3 minutes, one of the key features that I have clearly put out is that this is a person with a good breadth of marketing experience. He's got various roles. He's been in various roles in just 7 years. That means he's done well for the company. I could have also talked a little bit about promotions, but that's okay. The second part I have done is that each of the 3 roles that I have discussed, I have in a very short given a little glimpse of what I did there as an achievement, or what I felt was very important over there. Now they can probe me on those areas, and like we had discussed, these are the strength areas for this candidate, and I'm very comfortable answering them. I left the interview and my strength areas, which are sports and extracurricular achievements. I'm genuinely passionate about sports and technically very, very strong, right? So these are areas where I would be very happy to be probed upon. So I hope this is giving you a good sense of how you can set up an introduction. Now let's look at an introduction by our MBA candidate applying for a brand manager's job. As you know, I'm Abhishek Jhingan. I'm in my second year of MBA, and my electives are marketing and finance, and I'm looking forward to applying for this job as a brand manager. I'll tell you a little bit about my childhood, various parts about our MBA course that I have been involved in, and a little bit about my educational background, and that will be an introduction for you, sir, and then we can go forward from there. So primarily I am based in Delhi. My family is based in Delhi currently, but I have lived through my life in various parts of India, smaller parts of India, metro cities, and I've been across 7 or 8 schools. During my MBA, we are nearly completing the second year. It's been a fantastic experience where I have learnt a lot, interacted with fantastic peers, and the standout moment has been my summer trainings where I did 2 projects. The first project was with ABCD Investment Banking, which was a project in analytics where I was looking at acquisition targets for multinationals who wanted to invest in India. The second project was with a conglomerate ABCD company which wanted to check its brand of premium paperboard in the tea industry. This was a market research which was spread over 4 to 6 weeks, where I had to finally examine the potential of this particular brand in the tea industry. These were fantastic projects, not just for learning, but I realized that through analytics in an investment bank and the research and marketing work that I did for this branded organization, I realized that my true love is marketing, and that's where I want to excel. I want to contribute by building big brands for companies. In my undergraduate level, I've done my engineering in electronics and telecommunication, and like you know, I'm majoring in marketing in my MBA. Through my school years, my engineering and MBA, I have been an avid enthusiast in extracurricular activities, whether it is debates, group discussions, or other types of extracurriculars like dumb charades. I've been part of winning teams. And I've also been extremely enthusiastic in competing in sports and have been part of winning teams and trophies across cricket, volleyball and table tennis. I'm a passionate reader, mainly fiction, but I also read various marketing books. So friends, as you can see, we had discussed earlier that the key important parts that had to be put out are the summer training that this person has done, and then linking it to the job, that passion for marketing which should stand in good stead with the company people. And now I'm open to questions in this area, and that's absolutely fine, because and this was actually me a few years back when I was appearing for my job interview. I was very confident about the projects that I had done. See, I was not part of the placement committee, and I was not heading any of the committees in MBA colleges. So I had to, focus on my strength areas, which were the projects that I had done. Second was my overall rounded experience of extracurricular sports, which hopefully gives the idea of a person who's, more of an all-rounder, can take up leadership positions, knows how to compete and win. And that is something companies are always looking at. So as you can see in both the profiles, the person is playing to his strengths and opening up those areas for further questions. This was an important step in the preparation for marketing interviews. The next step will be in part 2 of this discussion.